All right, and welcome back, folks, to another exciting episode of A Distinguished Conversation. I'm your host, as always, Noah, and to the right of me, I have my neighbor, Noah. So why don't you introduce yourself, Noah?
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm the other Noah, the younger, smaller, weaker Noah.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I don't know, you could probably kick my ass if you wanted to.
I wouldn't dare. No. I wouldn't even, no. Heck no. This is so crazy, dude. You guys don't understand. I see him from a completely different point of view. It is so weird to see you hosting a podcast because you're so professional.
Wait a second. Hold up.
What?
Oh, that's why. Keep talking.
Hello.
I was wondering why. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. For some reason, his level was set really low, and I don't know why. So, yeah.
Anyways, I was telling you guys, it's just so crazy seeing, him from this point of view. Because, normally we just have, a conversation, every, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah. Typically, let's see, I'll be coming home from work, or I'll just see, a shadowy figure in the night, and I'm like, is that a gringo?
And I just spawn.
Yeah. And then next thing you know is we'll be talking for an hour or so, and then we won't see each other for another 6 months or a year or whatever.
Yeah, sounds about right. I
think in the entire time I've lived here, 4 years? And I think I've seen you, 6 times maybe?
Yeah, and it's crazy how these conversations go on because we won't see each other for a year, and then the conversation will just pick right back up.
I'm pretty sure we had lunch one time.
we went to what was it, Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, tragic. I don't get that discount anymore, and that makes me sad.
I almost had a heart attack whenever I went to that place. That was my first time going to a one
of my old coworkers referred to it as the boob shack.
Yeah, it was my first time being to any sort of boob shack to that extent.
I don't know. I've always felt natural at places like that, and it's just I go for food, and in the case of Hooters, I used to love Hooters, and I would go just chow down on wings, and they're like, "Hey, can I get you anything else?" I'm like, "No, I'm
Hooters is a boob shack.
I mean, I guess.
Okay, well then I lied to you guys. I have been to a boob shack. Hooters used to be my place. Because those lemon pepper wings.
Oh yeah, the lemon pepper and the cake. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that triple chocolate cake with the little chocolate chips.
All of it was
top.
terrible for you because it's 90% grease and it's terrible for you.
Yeah, it's so probably the reason I had stunted growth.
Are you sure about that? Because you're 6 feet tall.
I'm not 6 feet tall. I'm 5'10".
You feel taller than me, so I don't know. Anybody who's taller than me, I'm you're 8 feet tall. So
no, I should be. Whole family's taller than me.
It'd be that way. It's tragic when everyone else is taller.
You didn't go to a public school, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh my goodness, they are. It's lots of tall people there. I've seen freaking freshmen that were, no joke, 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how this shit happens. Because sorry, what are the language parameters on here? Can I cuss?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, good. Those guys are just...
On my buddy's podcast, his last episode was called "We All Get Canceled." So yeah.
Oh God, I saw that title. I was like, uh-oh, I can't wait to see what these guys did.
Oh yeah, no, that one was fun. So go check that out, folks, if you haven't. Traditional Thinking. Me and my buddy Max and our dear friend Cody, we talked about all sorts of fun stuff like gay marriage and abortions and COVID-19, and yeah, it was a walloping good time.
Oh, we should get them. We should do another podcast with those folks. Do part 2. I'd love to tag along for that.
Oh yeah. Well, so I met Max when I was going to college, and he and I hit it off pretty well. First couple interactions we had, and I'm trying to think. One day he just kind of kept saying his normal thoughts, to which I thought they were normal, but apparently they're controversial. So yeah, and then we just learned that we both are very controversial in our own different ways.
Well, okay, That in general is just a trap. The whole word controversial, because no matter what you do, it's always going to be controversial to someone.
Oh yeah, precisely.
Like walking is controversial to people in wheelchairs. They hate that shit.
Yeah, probably. Let me see. Probably that side. I'm not talking to that side.
Alrighty.
Hold up, talk.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you sound nice and crispy now.
Yeah, nice and crispy.
Yeah.
And then people in wheelchairs, I find that shit so offensive. Like
just rolling around.
Like I get tired whenever I walk and these assholes are rolling around. What the hell? Who the fuck do you think you are? I swear to God, people are so entitled these days. Get your pussy ass up and walk.
Do you ride skateboard or any of that?
Not just a motorcycle.
No, just a motorcycle. What a loser. So I bought a skateboard from Walmart of all places. I was just shopping by and I saw it and I thought to myself, $15 for a little skateboard is not bad. My thought process was every other skateboard costs anywhere from $100 to $200. So I spent $15 and I hate it or I can't do it. I've only spent $15 or I spend $200 and I don't know. I basically picked it up and got on it and learned that I could skateboard. So I guess the 9 years of being a server and balancing things helped with that. So yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of hate with being a skateboarder.
Yeah.
They're like, oh goodness, people around here, they don't like them, especially in Derby.
Is that so?
Very much so. Old people, woo, they will get on your ass so quick about skateboarding.
I should just go on down to Rose Hill because that's where all the old people are.
Oh, I love Rose Hill. It's so disgusting and horrible and racist.
Yeah.
Mwah.
It's beautiful. So I remember the first time we went to Rose Hill, we were looking for Chinese food. And there was one Chinese restaurant and we were like, I don't know, it had like some of the better reviews. So we went there and I walked in and there was like this little dank hut and I was like, where am I? And this lady, what you want? And I was like, or lo mein or chow mein, whatever it was. And she was like, and what else? And I was like, I don't know. And I think I just ordered like orange chicken or something because it was like a mixture of the lady from Dude, Where's My Car, where she's like, and then it was like, I don't know, but it was just aggressive. What you want? What you want?
That's a pretty good damn sales pitch. If you can't sell your product, force people to buy it.
Fear of frightening everyone attains respect.
Of course.
Honestly, it worked. They made the sale. So, yeah, we got Chinese food and it was not very good. And we have since been either Panda Express customers or the mall Chinese food.
Well, I mean, you said that place was in Rose Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. It's a nightmare for any sort of foreign food. Was the lady at least Chinese?
I think so. I don't know. I was too scared to ask.
Oh yeah, you might find some posers because they know that Americans have trouble telling Asians apart. So there'll be a Korean lady selling Chinese food.
That is true.
I mean, it's just business. It's a dirty game.
It is. Honestly, like, it's terrifying. But yeah, since then I've been going to Panda Express, and I don't like Panda Express or Chipotle. Mm-hmm. Those are two of my like least favorite restaurants. But man, every once in a while, one of those like burrito bowls.
Yeah,
the big plate, I think is what it's called. Every once in a while, you're like, you know what? I want to lower my standards and have some knockoff Chinese food.
Yeah, you have to have a very specific craving to go to places like that, or at least like for me, like I have to be like, how do I put this? Willing to fucking die. Yeah. Like just be willing to have like the next couple hours off after the food just to like shit.
Well, I remember so bringing up my buddy Max, we were trying to get food a couple weeks ago after one of his episodes and I had suggested KFC. I love KFC. Mm-hmm. It is so disgusting and it's just so terrible for you. But man, I can tear up an 8-piece bucket by myself.
Oh yeah.
And then for like their mashed potatoes, like they're not good. The mac and cheese is not very good, but for some reason I love it. And their fries, which are actually really good. Like there's no reason KFC's fries should be that good. And so he said, no, every time we get KFC, my stomach hurts. And I was like, I didn't say our stomachs would not be hurting. I've never gone to KFC and said to myself, man, that was a great life choice.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I am just saying I am down for the ride, and it is an experience.
Exactly. For all you Europeans out there that get onto us for being obese, come over here and eat our fucking food, and you'll find out why we're obese.
It's not good, but
it's on purpose.
We could destroy it. Lately, I've been craving. I saw a commercial for the big dinner box from Pizza Hut.
Oh goodness! Oh,
I love that thing. I'm not a fan of Pizza Hut, but that big dinner box is like the greatest thing.
Oh yeah,
to have come out of like
that cookie
pizza. Oh yeah, that's right. You can do it with the cookie.
And then you can also do it with. I don't know if you can change it to cheese sticks, but you can change the breadsticks to cheese sticks.
Yeah.
Goodness,
it's so terrible for you.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
But that's okay. If I'm gonna die full.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I would rather like die on a full stomach with like MSG and like all sorts of chemicals that I can't pronounce just clawing away at my stomach.
Yeah.
Rather than like just, you know, dying.
Being a vegan, one of those idiots that lives to like 110. Yeah. Good job, you lived to 110, but like
what? Like, so what? Just kill yourself.
Whatever. Like, bro,
don't do that.
After you are 90 years old, you're miserable.
Pretty much.
So after that, you're just like, you're on overdrive.
Yeah.
Are you really willing to be miserable for 20 more years? No, I'm perfectly fine with dying at 60 if I can just live my life. Eat KFC, eat McDonald's, drink shit that shouldn't go into my body. Do dumb shit. That's the way to live. The way to live is to live the way you're not supposed to.
Never always, but sometimes, kids. That's what. Have I told you that one?
No, you haven't.
So never always, but sometimes is like, I tell people, never always, but sometimes listen to your parents. And like, it's this really genius, if I do say so myself, life saying.
Oh yeah.
You should like not always listen to your parents because sometimes they don't know what's best for you. But you should like sometimes listen to your parents because they have experience and a lot of times they're right. So it's never always but sometimes.
That's a good saying to live by.
It's like you can't overthink, but you can't underthink. So you should never always but sometimes think, you know? And that's like this like saying that I came up with, and I was like, wow, that's really good. I should like patent that or something, you know?
Shit. Oh shit, you could.
Probably should.
Could be maybe a...
I can see it on like a book now, and like on the cover of the book is me holding the book. And then like...
Oh, dude, you'd break a lot of fucking realities doing that shit. I know. There'd be like a infinite loop of you inside the book. Oh.
And I'm just like holding the book and I'm like, never always but sometimes. And then you're like, but if I keep looking at it, well then never always but sometimes look at the picture of the book or the cover. Is he like it's this complete full circle. Never always but sometimes, folks.
Yeah, you already fried my brain with that one.
Yeah. So, what about the Ukraine? What's happening over there?
Oh, God. Dude, I have no clue. Zero clue at all. That was just a thought.
Well, you had said the Ukraine, so I was like, okay. Well, let's go to Google and let's see what news is happening.
I'm pretty sure they're at a stalemate right now, but I don't know. I know that Russia's having a lot of trouble, which is kind of surprising because if you guys didn't know, Russia is the second most powerful military on the planet, just behind us. Yeah. And they're having a lot of trouble with these militarists and these insurgents in Ukraine. And it's just unbelievable to think about how such a superpower like that can't beat this small European power. But it also just shows that wars are won by men and not money.
So, let's see. According to CBR, Cowboy Bebop the Netflix adaptation deserves a second chance and a second season. Did you watch the Netflix version of Cowboy Bebop?
I've never even heard of that.
You've not seen Cowboy Bebop?
No.
So it is probably it's my favorite show of all time.
Okay.
It is an anime that ran for one season, 26 episodes, and it is
I'll look it up right quick. What's it called? Cowboy Bebop?
Yes. Like, I started the first episode one night because with a title like that, I was intrigued. And I think I binged like 4 or 5 different episodes before I like passed out from exhaustion. And yeah, I watched the series in like 2 or 3 days. And I remember I saw the last episode, and like my family was watching TV and I was just kind of watching it on my phone. And I saw the last episode and started it over again, like, because I genuinely couldn't believe what I had just seen in the last episode. Like, I've never done that with a show. But yeah.
The futuristic adventures of an easygoing bounty hunter and his partners. Okay. Dang.
It's pretty great.
Number
There's a little
9
corgi in it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let me see.
Dang, that doesn't look bad. Okay.
There was a Netflix adaptation which apparently wasn't very good. I never saw it. I don't have Netflix, but I know One Piece came out.
Yeah.
And they did the Netflix and looked like it got kind of mixed reviews and like it was more positive. So I think that's why people are like, hey, we should give this a second chance. But like, I don't know.
It's very hard to take any like animated show and turn it into a live action because anime and like anime influenced Western cartoons are very like they really show emotion in them. Like they're very big on like expressions, and it's hard for humans to mimic that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to make a new movie or show or spin-off series or whatever, the best thing to do is just animate it again.
Yeah.
Because people, that's what they loved in the first place. They loved that anime. Like, I don't know about, I know this isn't an anime, so don't come at me, but I know The Last Airbender, they had a live action movie and it was like, dude, like it was horrible. It was like crazy bad.
And that's why we're making another live action.
I know. I'm scared, but it has potential because I mean they're very good at looking at the old movie and seeing what they did wrong there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see what they do, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because.
Well, it's fascinating that you said that because I kind of think there's a lot of truth to that when it comes to like animation and trying to bring it to live action. It's kind of hard to do. And so like in the case of anime, like one of the things I noticed in my most recent rewatch, in episode 1, the guy that they're like tracking down, at one point he is so like drugged out of his mind that he doesn't even look human anymore, and he almost looks like an animal. Like that's just how detailed and like distorted the art makes him look. And I was like, that's actually like really cool how they did that, and you can't really do that without animation. And like thinking about like Transformers, you know, that has worked ever since like 1984, I think, in animation. But I mean, Michael Bay's Transformers, you know, they're hit or miss. Every once in a while, when the robots are on screen, it's pretty good. But then like the robots leave, and you're like, ah, shoot, it's Shia LaBeouf again. And then I'm trying to think. I think I'm trying to think. Like some of the Marvel stuff has translated, and Batman has translated fairly well into live action, but other stuff, I don't know, it's hard because you either go for that realistic and grounded approach, or like you don't. And with comic books, it's kind of hard because none of that is realistic and grounded. The Suicide Squad was it's actually one of my favorite movies. It's I have a very weird taste in movies, folks. Some of my favorites are just random and out of nowhere. It's like my favorite show is Cowboy Bebop. One of my favorite films is The Suicide Squad. And then one of my favorite games is The Last of Us, Part 2. And so it's like, well, that's not a bad movie, but one of your favorites. That's not a great game. But in Suicide Squad, I have never thought in a million years I would be sitting in a theater watching some clown jump through a giant starfish while there's a talking like shark and a bunch of rats are running all over this, and I would catch myself crying in a theater while all of this is happening. I never thought I would see that.
That's okay. I'm assuming that was a hit. Oh, that was the new Suicide Squad. Yeah. Oh goodness.
I was like, I was sitting there and I was like, this is beautiful, and like the music is happening. Like, we'll you know what? We'll watch that one of these days, folks. We'll throw it to the list. Caleb, add it to the list. He's in like Scotland or Ireland right now, but so yeah, hi Caleb. But yeah, we'll watch that, and like, yeah, it's a great film, and like even let's see, Guardians 3. If I could still cry, man, I probably would have cried in that movie. That one was beautiful.
I did cry during that. I mean, at the end of every Guardians of the Galaxy movie, like Peter's he's like about to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm always like, oh, well, it's obviously only the second movie, so I'm not going to cry this time. I cried during the second time, and then during the third movie, I cried again. Like, they are so good. Like, Marvel is so good at that in general.
So I wasn't a fan of the first two Guardians films. Like, they were
what?
They're all right. Don't get me wrong, they're all right. Like that first one, I was like, all right, that one's pretty all right. The second one, I don't know. It just, nothing really happened for me. And then Guardians 3, I went into it with like no expectations. And then like we're not even 2 minutes into the movie and I'm hearing Creep by Radiohead. And I was like, wait a second. And then like the opening, the way that it's showing that like peace and calm on nowhere, then Adam Warlock's there just being the crap out of them, and then plot happens, and like Rocket was fantastic. Like the fact that it was kind of his story all the way back from, and like going back and rewatching the other ones, one of the like I never noticed it, but he gets violent whenever anyone refers to him as a raccoon. Like, I thought it was just like a slight annoyance, but like in the Christmas special, there's this one bit where Kevin Bacon's like, he's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna buy it. He's like, is that a talking raccoon? And he jumps at him and he's like, I'll kill you, when he refers
That's the one where they kidnapped Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was fire.
I put off watching that because I didn't care for like I said, I wasn't a fan of the other one, so I was like, yeah, I don't care. I saw 3 and like immediately binged all 3. Like, it was, once again, folks, that AMC movie membership is well worth it. I saw the film 3 times. Like, it was great. But yeah, so the whole thing about like Rocket and how he couldn't like he was trying to he was always trying to run from who he was, and it wasn't until the end of the third one where he's like, no, my name's Rocket Raccoon. Like, he sees who he was and accepts and embraces all the different things. It was masterfully done. I'm typically not a fan of James Gunn, but that was brilliant.
Yeah, it brought me to tears in the theater. I cried so many times, almost as many times as I did during Endgame. But
Endgame was fun.
I cried whenever Rocket was back in the cages and stuff like that, and he saw the raccoon thing. Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, my coworker was like, hey, have you seen Guardians 3? And I was like, no, I don't really want to. And she was like, you should. I almost cried. I was like, must be good. If like Buddy Max saw it opening day, my coworker was telling me about it, I was like, all right, fine, I'll go see this.
Yeah.
I was like, well, shoot, that was pretty good. Then saw it again that following, I think it was like a Thursday that I saw it, and then I think it was like that following Sunday I saw it a second time.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
I'll say that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was probably the best one.
Yeah.
But I do like the other ones. But the only reason I do is because I go into each movie with like no expectations.
Yeah.
But compared to like Marvel's other movies,
Yeah.
like Marvel is,
They've dropped the ball.
yeah, we're in the what, like fourth phase of
Something
Marvel
like
right
that.
now, and they're
Fourth or
like
fifth.
yeah, and it's just God. After Endgame, it just kind of all.
Endgame was that was the climax.
I don't know why they. I mean, I love Endgame and I loved what was it, Infinity War?
Yeah.
I loved both of those, but whenever you hit like a peak like that, like they were saving the universe or the galaxy.
Yeah.
After you finish a big movie like that, like, what now?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just fucking save the galaxy and then go back to fighting crime on the streets.
Yeah.
It's hard to find like a way to follow that up.
Yeah. And like they're kind of trying to do that with Kang, but it sounds like that's going to be resolved fairly quickly. And I know one of the things is with Secret Wars. That's one of the ones that's coming up. What is it? Or did they do? No, I think it is Avengers Secret Wars. And or Kang Dynasty or whatever it is. But they're basically kind of considering doing like a soft reboot where they can bring back characters like Iron Man or Captain America, but with like a recast. But I don't know if it's too soon or if they're gonna run into the same problem that like DC, where like we've had like 5 different Batmans within the last like 10 years. So
I don't know. I mean, I love Batman so much, and I love almost all of the actors that played Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But with Iron Man, we've come to know
Robert Downey Jr.
As Iron Man, and like he was like all of our like our most like a good portion of our favorite character of our like the audience's favorite character.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to reboot someone that has like that same sarcasm, that same like I don't give a shit attitude.
Well, it's
as
like
he does.
It's kind of like the same thing with like Hugh Jackman, where you think of Wolverine as like a person, and you think Hugh Jackman. Like in my head, if I think about the voice of Wolverine, I might think Steve Blum, who also conveniently voices Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop. But as Wolverine, like if I just picture Wolverine, I think Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And it's like some people have said Daniel Radcliffe as like the next one, and I mean I'd be intrigued to see where that goes, but come on, it's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
The only thing wrong about him is he's like 6 feet tall, and in the comics he's like 5'4".
Yeah.
He's this little short, mean Canadian guy.
Yeah.
Like,
as they all are.
Yeah.
Short and mean.
Hey, buddy.
No,
I'm not your buddy, I'm your guy.
That's the most common Canadian stereotype.
Yeah. Do you love South Park? So we've talked about other stereotypes and such so far. Who else should we offend or piss off?
I don't know. We could start a little war between DC and Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Stay on the same train.
Have you kept up with Baldur's Gate at all?
Yeah. I used to play the old ones, and this one just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of keeps up the pace. I like it. It's not bad at all. It's actually really good. It's got a lot of side content and other shit going on that you don't have to pay for.
That's cool. Always nice when you can just buy a game and it works.
Yeah.
Like I was playing what was it? I started playing the 2018 Spider-Man again because I thought, want to get caught up before the new one comes out, and I started playing Resident Evil 4 the remake for the second playthrough. I was doing it on the PlayStation 5, and it still takes like 10 minutes to download. I'm like, why? Like, I should be able to just put in the game and it work.
10 minutes?
Yeah, it took like 10 minutes to like download the game.
Shit, my games usually take like a couple hours.
Oh, well.
I got a really crappy PlayStation, I guess.
I don't know. It's just, well, those were older games. Are you talking like new games or?
Yeah, newer-ish, like 2020, 2021, so
Fair
on.
enough.
I don't know when I was downloading Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I'm about to replay the RPG games from Assassin's Creed before Mirage comes out, which is going to be sick. So I was trying to catch up on those.
I've never once played an Assassin's Creed game.
It's it's very divided, like fan base wise. Like the newer ones, they're not really even like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Like the a good place to start for Assassin's Creed, if you guys ever like do want to start and you haven't started before, I'd say 2. 2 is a really good one. It's like old school. It was made in don't quote me on this. I think it was made around 2009 or 8ish.
Okay.
So it's kind of got like not the best graphics, but the story is just peak. It's top tier. And then that game and so on are pretty good. But it just depends on your taste. It's very specific. Like it's very like story related. It is free roam. It's very story related though. It's about a war between a group called Assassins and then the Templars. Yeah, it's just it gets really crazy. Like it covers a lot of like real historical events, and then it also covers a lot of like fake made up fantasy events and stuff like that. But it's pretty alright. It's not bad.
That'd be fun. Because I remember, what was it? It was like around the time of 3 and Black Flag.
Those are good.
Like, I remember they were big, and I just was like, I don't know, I don't get it. I can't remember what I was doing at the time, but I remember the Smosh parody of it.
Oh yeah,
those were good. Those were
dude.
classic.
Smosh, dude. Those guys are killing it. I miss them.
Yeah,
they got picked together.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty freaking cool.
That is, it's so wild to think about it when you're like, yeah, those people that like I grew up watching on YouTube. Yeah, PewDiePie has a kid now, and like the Smosh guys actually bought their name again.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it kills me to like even the guys from like Good Mythical Morning, Red Link, they're like in their 40s.
Yeah.
Like they're getting older. They're starting to get up there. Not to say that 40 is old. Don't chill. Yeah. But like,
they were kids when they started that.
Exactly.
It was like,
and like yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And like the guys from Smosh, they're like
probably in their 30s.
Yeah, they're in their like 30s. They're getting up there too. And they started Smosh like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see everybody that I grew up with and you grew up with just they're all grown up now.
Yeah. Well, I remember, so when I went to, just feels like a giant Memba Berries episode of South Park. You remember Star Wars? I remember. Classic. But I went to Texas in July, and I saw one of my old return guests that I used to take care of from back in the day. So 9 years ago, when I was a young server, I had this little table, and they had their first kid when I started taking care of him, and I would always go to his like left shoulder, tap it, and then like go to his right side, and he would look, and like I would just always do this to this little kid. And one day he got smart enough, and he looked on his right side, and he looked at me. He was
you were just standing there,
and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And he's like, "Yeah, try me, bitch."
Little dude.
He didn't say that, but that's what he wanted to. We were at church, so he couldn't,
I did. Dang.
But I was talking with the mom, and like we were catching up because it'd been probably a good 5 or 6 years since I'd seen them, and I was like, "Oh, where are the kids?" And she was like, "Oh, they're not here today." But like she was saying that like he was like 11. I was like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah,
I remember this kid when he was like 2, not 11. And like when I had left, they were about to have a baby girl, and so I was like, "There's a third one now," and like the other one was like 7 or 8, and I was like, "That is just not okay." Remember him when he was like, you could grab him by the head and like
ankle biter.
Yeah. I was like, not that you should grab a child by a head, but like, like
No, that's where you're supposed to grab it. You're supposed to grab them right by the head, squeeze hard, so you have a good grip on them.
Yeah, and like you should be able to shake the body around.
Yeah, that's how you know if you got a good grip. You could shake it and you won't lose your grip.
Yeah. Otherwise,
don't do that, you fucking idiots. I swear to God.
You know it's sad when you got to put like warning labels on stuff like that. Like on the somebody had to like drink soap for them to put the label like do not drink.
Hey, I have respect for those people though, because people that have balls like that, that's how they figure shit out.
Or die.
Exactly, but that's like the fun of the adventure.
I suppose.
Dude who discovered milk? Oh hell yeah, bro! Go suck on that cow's titty. That's like, what else would you do in life?
You know, that's a very good question. How did they?
Some caveman probably saw a cow drinking on its mom's titties and was like, bro,
Wonder what's going on over there.
don't leave me out. Bro went over there and got a taste. I mean, no shame in it. Something you gotta figure it out somehow.
Fair enough.
I'm just kind of jealous that I wasn't the one to do it and tell people that I discovered milk. Why I like discovered how to drink a cow's milk. Bro, I'd be sucking.
Well, me and my other co-host Marcos, we were talking about this the other day. Like one day, someone just woke up and they had a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, our beautiful baby boy," and they were like, "Let's cut that excess skin off the dick. Let's do that." And then they couldn't think of a like good excuse to do that, so they were like, "God told us to do it."
God told me to cut my baby's dick off.
Yeah, we were like, how did circumcision like become a thing?
I don't know. It beats me, man. Hey, but
You know what? Let's look this up.
I'm proud of it. I'm team circumcised.
How did circumcision start? All right, let's see. Historically, male circumcision was practiced among ancient Semitic people, including Egyptians and those of Jewish faith, with the earliest records depicting circumcision on Egyptian temples and wall paintings dating from around 2300 BC.
Oh shit! So they didn't even have any like, they didn't even have like medicine or anything to make
No.
the just. Dang, baby was awake. Imagine that shit, bro. Having your dick cut off while you're like awake.
They were like, yeah, the kid's not going to remember it.
Yeah, little dickhead doesn't even have memories yet. He'll be fine.
Let's see. According to current estimations, approximately 30% of all males across the world, representing a total of approximately 670 million men, are circumcised.
Only 30%?
Only 30%.
What?
Of this number, about 68% of Islamic faith, less than 1% of Jewish faith, and 13 are non-Muslim, non-Jewish Americans. Huh.
What? That is crazy. I thought so many more people would be circumcised. I guess that's not as common. Wow, that's nuts. I should have looked at more penises while I was in boot camp. I could have got some real data there. Dang, dude.
I suppose that's what you could be doing in boot camp.
What team are you on?
So, any fun military stories?
Oh my god. You're on. Dude, there's no way.
Let's put it this way. It's one hoodie she can't steal.
Dude, that is crazy. I wish I was uncircumcised. I'd be storing shit in there and everything like that.
Yeah, just, hey, yeah, I'm storing my lunch in there. It's, like the briefcase from Resident Evil. It's like that. I can sort things around in there.
I'd put, like, cheese in there and shit, the good stuff.
Just have a little snack for later. So, any fun Marine stories?
No, it was very brief.
Fair enough.
Very, very brief. It wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like crazy hard or anything like that. It was just like, actually, that's a lie. I had a lot harder time than everyone else in my platoon. It was like, I missed my family so much because I am like a very at-home body. I'm a crybaby, all that shit. So I miss my mom, miss my girlfriend, and I did miss my dog. I cried over my dog more than I cried over anybody else.
It'd be that way sometimes.
But as long as you like keep your mouth shut and just listen, it's not that bad. It's all a mental game. Like every instructor is just trying to mess with you. And it made it a lot easier to see my instructors and know that they were literally my age. They were like 24, 25. Like they weren't too old. They were pretty young. So it sucks. Like it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But like for people that like overthink, it's a lot worse in your head than it is whenever you're actually there. The worst thing about it is just being bored.
Yeah.
Sitting there having time to think. Oh, and waking up. Waking up's pretty fucking bad. I'd wake up and I'd expect to be at my bed at home, and then I'd wake up and I'd be in my rack. Oh god, it was horrible. And I was top bunk too, so
Oof.
I'd wake up and I'd fall off my bunk. But overall, it's not that bad.
For shizzle. I remember like, cause so I was gonna do Marines, and then they politely told me I had issues. Because basically right before you go to MEPS, there's that like 100 questionnaire.
Yeah.
And so you're going through all of them, and for the most part they're like, all right, it's like, it's not diagnosed asthma, and they're like, okay, cool. It's like, yeah, they're like, I'm like, it's not, a doctor didn't tell me, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll just put a no. And so then finally you get to they're like, do you have depression, any like suicidal thoughts or anything? I'm like, oh yeah, every day. And then they're like,
that right there. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm not allowed to continue my service, because of that. I have like crazy like family issues, and like all my family has depression and all that stuff. Carries down a lot. I was doing pretty all right, and then eventually they were like, hey man, can't continue your service due to this, blah 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 blah, because some kid in the platoon before mine, Lima company, he had trouble with depression too, and they let it slide, and he said he was perfectly fine for service. He wasn't, and he turned his life button off.
oof.
So I was like, oh god, well whatever. So now I've moved on. It's not like, I don't hate the Marine Corps or anything for kicking me out or anything like that. It's pretty, they're pretty cool. It's just, gotta move on. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, we basically, they were like, you're not supposed to have that, and I was like, I thought it was common for everyone to have depression. All my coworkers talk about it.
Listen, everyone in my platoon had depression. I just like, I was a little bit vocal about it. I was like, dang,
yeah,
she kind of hurt my feelings. I was being a pussy about it and stuff like that. But yeah,
everyone else was just like, no, I don't have any feelings. Goes to the bathroom.
First day of our second day of receiving, whenever we all got our racks for the first time.
Oh, I think you told me this.
Yeah, fucking everybody was like, yeah bro, this is like easy. And then everybody went to bed, or everybody went to their racks, and you just heard it was the most sad shit on the planet, because you didn't know who was crying, but you knew it was just about everyone. Like I said, I was top bunk, and my rackmate below me, I just heard like he was fucking dying, bro. I was still like in like shock, so I was just kind of like sitting there like with my eyes open, like, oh wow, I'm actually here. Damn, did that shit suck, bro.
So, the Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders?
Like, which one do I prefer?
Yeah.
Well, as a Chiefs fan, I'm supposed to say neither. But Oakland.
Exactly. That's
Oakland, that's like, okay, so Raiders fans, crazy people, like half of them are gang members. That's just what you expect.
Yeah.
Whenever you think of crazy people in the San Francisco Bay or in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
you think of Oakland.
That's what I'm saying.
Oakland is where you go if you want to get killed.
Pretty
like
much.
that's the gist of it. It's basically like offshoot Compton.
Like, where was it? Because talking about the Marines, they send you off to, isn't it like Southern California?
Yeah, San Diego.
Yeah, so they send you off to San Diego, and like, if you're really feeling, if like, don't know you have depression if you're like, yeah, I want to go to Oakland, and they're like, whoa, what do you mean you want to go to Oakland?
Yeah, fight the war against gangs.
Yeah. They're like, you okay all up there? How's the home life, buddy?
If you enlist in the Marine Corps in the first place, you're not okay up there.
Yeah. I feel like if you enlist in the Army, it's like, because I mentioned the idea of Marines to my boss, and my boss was like, Marines? Like, you're the first person, you're the front lines. I was like, yeah, I like a good challenge.
I like a good bullet whizzing by my ear every now and then.
Well, because so one of the first things when I was talking with the recruiter was, he was like, all right, so I got like these 12 little plaques or 12 little things.
Yeah, he does that to
whichever one is most important to you, put that close to you. Whichever one isn't, put that in the back. And I was looking through, and one was like fun and an adventure, and that was the first one I picked, and I pushed that all the way to the back.
Yeah.
I wasn't in it for no thrill ride. I was in it for the benefits.
Yeah. Any recruiter that tells you the Marine Corps has the best benefits is lying. The benefits for the Marine Corps are garbage. They're shit, and they pay the Marines like garbage. I love them to death. I love the dedication, but if you want to be a Marine, you have to be in it to be a Marine, not to be rich. Because you get promoted slower.
My thought process was do the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get because it's like 90% of the benefits that you get. There's only a few that you don't get from not doing the reserves. So my thought process was do the reserves, get a nice workout, come back a little bit jacked, and then play Soldier Boy every once a month, and what?
Marine Boy. They're not soldiers.
My apologies.
Play
funny. Marine Biologist Boy twice.
There you go.
Twice a month, and then get those benefits and work my job.
I remember, I think you told me that whenever you were at the office, and I was like, if you're in it for the benefits, no. Because, I was in it for the benefits, too, and they already had me locked in.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. But if you want to go for, benefits...
Yeah.
Air National Guard. They have the best benefits. They'll give you a full ride in college. The Marine Corps only pays $20,000 in college debt. It's horrible. The Air Force... or the Air National Guard will give you a full ride. Same with the Army National Guard, I believe. Don't quote me on the Army.
I want to say Army National Guard was also pretty good.
Okay, so both National Guards do it, and the boot camp's a lot easier. It's shorter, gives you more time to come back, and they can extend your hours if you want to do it if you want to do the Air National Guard as a full-time job. But you start off once every other weekend. Yeah. But it's... I don't know. I've been thinking about going back once my 90-day little break is up, and I'm thinking about maybe going to the Air National Guard and getting those benefits for college. But I don't know.
Well, because I was thinking the National Guard hit me up, and I was like, you know what? I did the same thing every time they hit me up. I'm like, I will humor you. I will hear you out. I was looking over the benefits. I was like, on top of that, you got a $20,000 sign-on, which I know it's like you get part of it up front, and then it's throughout the rest of your service. But one guy was saying it's probably close to $6,500 up front. And I was like, that's still not bad.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good little chunk that I can put towards my my down payment on a house that I want to make.
Yeah,
I was like, it's a little chunk there, and I was like, and then while I'm at boot camp, since all my debts are suspended, I can just do my own thing and what was the word? Just put money into my savings account.
Yeah,
I was like, I could do this.
That'd be the way to go.
Same thing happened where they politely were like, you have issues, and they were like, so we can pursue this, but we need to do a waiver. And basically a letter of recommendation and a couple other things, but I had a a speeding ticket, and I was on, what is it? Not probation.
Oh, no. God.
There's only one account of manslaughter. Don't worry about it, people.
Oh, okay.
Diversion, that's the word, not probation. So I'm like right now I'm on diversion, where it's basically I took a defensive driving course and I said, all right, I won't break the law for 6 months,
but after that you're good.
Yeah, and then I will be speeding like a mother. But yeah, no. So I was like, I'm on not probation. I'm on diversion, and I was like, you know what? Let me get this whole situation figured out.
You heard it here, folks. He's on probation.
Because I don't want those insurance rates to keep going up. Because man, insurance is no joke.
Yeah, I am horrified of getting a ticket, especially on my bike, because I don't have my license. Whoa, I have my driver's. Most cops don't give a shit. Like I was with my organization that shall not be named because we have very strict social media rules. But I was with them, and the cop asked us all to show him our driver's license or our riding licenses and stuff like that. And like half of us didn't have one. He was like, "Yeah, that's what I expected. Go get your damn license." I was like, "Mid."
Oh, that's right. It's a different because a riding license and a driver's are different, right?
Yeah, you have to have two. I have my driver's license, but I don't have a motorcycle license. I have my permit, which is more than half the bikers out here, but I don't have my riding license or anything like that.
It'd be that way though sometimes. They were telling me that in order to ride a motorcycle in any branch of the army, it's like a 4-week course or something.
It's so strict. It's a 4-week. Yeah, it's like a big course, and then you have to wear a like a light up vest, like a neon vest or a neon strap around you.
Something that just says "shoot me."
Literally, it's so crazy the laws that they have for that. But I don't know about the Air Force here, or if you're stationed in the U.S. or whatever, because I see people riding their motorcycles on the base all the time.
They probably want to get as much of their money's worth out of taking that 4-week course. They're like, I'm gonna ride this every day. I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna like be buried with my motorcycle. Like,
yeah,
make me wear an orange vest.
Yeah, those freaking laws are so much different on base and stuff like that.
Indeed. But yeah, honestly, motorcycles are cool. I've always wanted to get one of the ones, but with the sidecar.
Oh, those are sick. I really want one of those. I was actually looking at them on Facebook Marketplace. They're pretty fucking cool. Put my dog in there.
Ooh. You want to go halvesies on one?
Shit, I'll think about it.
We should go halvesies on one, and we just ride around. We can dress up like Batman and Robin.
Dude, that would be so sick. That's a good Halloween idea.
Everyone will think we're gay. Or like, nah, man.
Think?
Wait. but yeah, well, like, have you ever read like the really old Batman comics?
Really old, as in like 50s, 40s?
Like so
I think Batman came around like the 40s, right?
Yeah, his first one was like 19. When was his first comic? I want to say it was 1941.
Oh, and definitely.
But that sounds, because I want to say the Joker's first appearance was like 1940. It was like April 25th, 1945, I think. I'm set. Or was it April 25th, 1941? First Batman comic. 1939. So it might have been. But yeah, like the first one with Robin was Detective Comics number 38. And there's like this panel in one of the early Batman and Robin comics where he's like, wow, that was some great sleep, Dick, because they slept in the same bed, of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, the name Dick plus they sleep in the same bed and they run around in tights.
Wait, in those comics, wasn't Dick Grayson like Like a kid?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
was like 16.
Batman. Oh god. You know, I'm actually not that surprised because Batman is he's crazy.
Yeah. Was Dick Grayson?
I'm gonna guess he was like 12.
He was about 8 to 10 years old.
Jesus.
He was about 8 to 12. New 52 changed it to 15 years old. Okay, so how old was Batman? How old was Batman when he got Robin? We know that Bruce was 8 when his parents died, 26 when he became Batman, 27 when he met Dick, 28. There is a 20-year age difference. Oh man.
Batman likes him fresh.
I expect Chris Hansen. So, what are you doing here? Like, Batman and Robin jump into the scene. So, what were your plans tonight with this young boy?
Batman just came to check on him, see if he was okay. Bro, Batman, I wouldn't be surprised if he was piping the good old Robin in the ass every now and then. Because, I mean, Batman's all by himself. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't, like, I mean, freaking, what's her face?
Catwoman.
Catwoman, but, like, okay. Oh, yeah, and Talia, I guess.
You know,
Oh, she is Talia. That's a bad bitch right there.
yeah, like he's scoring with these pretty substantial ladies, but he's still into little boys.
Yeah, because those, how do I put, okay, so those ladies are grown. They're not fresh. They're developed. He wants the fresh, like, clean new slate. Whenever you go to the grocery store, you don't go to get the expired meat. You go to get the fresh one. The newer, the better.
I don't like considering little boys as the fresh meat.
You don't like getting milk that's about to expire. You like getting the milk that was just, like,
I don't drink milk in
new
general.
and just put in there. Whenever you're finding young men, you don't go for the 20-year-olds.
That's fair.
You go for the young ones.
Give me just 1 second. The other day when we were recording, for some reason, the computer wasn't shutting off. So like after about an hour, it goes black.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure how long we were recording. So we'll see in about 3 minutes here. So yeah, let me see. I'm trying to think of a good topic. So tell us about yourself.
About myself?
Yeah.
God, I'm the most average guy on the planet. Nothing too cool about me. I'm basic security guard in a motorcycle organization. Very loyal to it. Very. But besides that, I'm just like everyone else. Nothing too cool about me. Military dropout. I tried to be something, but obviously that didn't work out, so.
They were like, no, you can't do that.
Hey, you're not cool enough to be a Marine. So I
Too
was
many
like,
white people in here. We have my co-host Caleb. He has a very good friend that I met and know, and like I would like to get to know him more, because if Caleb thinks he's cool, he's got to be cool. So,
Yeah.
You know. But he's got a friend, Jason, who's in the Marines.
Yeah.
And yeah, I need to.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Whenever people say that they're Marines, the reason they're so prideful about that and they're so serious about not being called soldiers or being differentiated from the rest of the branches, it's because they worked for that shit.
Yeah.
I only went through about half of what they went through, and it's like, or half of what boot camp is, and it is not easy, dude. And I didn't even get to the hard shit yet, and everyone else was like it's not easy. Well, some people will tell you that is. My friend Tanaris just graduated, and he was like, "You made that shit was easy. That was the easiest shit I've ever done." Which
Goes and cries in the corner.
no, he was serious too. It was nuts. It's hard, but like you can get through it as long as you like shut your mouth and listen. You don't try to like be somebody.
Fair enough. I remember I was listening to this story where someone, uh, they they were kind of an expert with shooting already. So when going into it, they just kind of kept their mouth shut the whole way through until they got to the shooting part, and it was like their final test. And they aced it like none other. Like, didn't need any kind of firearms training. They just knew what they were doing. And they were like, why the hell did you not say that you were an expert? And he was like, you never asked.
Yeah.
And then because of his smart aleck remark, the drill sergeant made him instruct everyone else and like teach them for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's good to go in with prior experience, especially like just being in shape or any of that jazz. But at the same time, it is good to keep your mouth shut, because if you brag, they'll make you a squad leader or the guide, and if you're any of those, you get a lot of pressure, and it's like all the attention's on you.
We were talking about this, me and one of my, I guess he's kind of one of my, I don't know. Either way, there's this guy, and he's kind of in training right now, and he's learning, and he was like, yeah, I know, I've noticed some people are like cocky, and they like act like they know better. And I was like, you see, I'm the same way though. I know I'm better than everyone else. I just don't say it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you see, but that's the right way to do it.
It is the right way to do it.
It's okay to be better than everyone else. Just don't say it, you know?
You just gotta analyze. You gotta make sure that, like,
because then they expect stuff of you, and then you're like, then you have to try, you know?
Also, if you keep your mouth shut and you listen, you can always learn something.
Yeah.
If you're not broadcasting, you're taking stuff in. It's really good to always be sure that you're listening to others and all that stuff, because you can learn a lot even from the dumbest people.
Yeah. I learned from a boss a long time ago that if you want to learn the most efficient way to do anything, find the laziest person.
Yeah.
And the laziest person, they might find the laziest way, but they'll find a lot of times a quick and or efficient way to do things.
Heck yeah.
And I was like, that is fascinating. And then I started doing that. I was like, that is fascinating. And then you tweak it and you make sure that you do things without breaking health and safety. And like, there you go.
Right.
So yeah, I'm trying to think. This is why people have topics for these things. Any games you're excited for coming out this year?
Oh, like I said earlier, Assassin's Creed Mirage, but Spider-Man 2. That's at the top of my list right there.
That's my game for the year.
I saw the trailer of Peter with the symbiote. Oh my gosh, it is just what I wanted.
Yep. I am very excited for like Lizard. We're finally getting him. I'm kind of intrigued. I hope they bring like more of the superpowered characters into this one, because like in the last one it was just kind of a lot of the guys with the suits.
Yeah.
And like Electro was really the only one with actual superpowers. So I would like to see people like Sandman, because they made mention of him.
If they brought Sandman, that's one of my favorites right there. That'd
be fun. If they didn't go that route, maybe Hydro Man, maybe supposedly it's kind of like a rumor or a leak, or not a leak, but someone had said that Kraven is kind of the misdirect, and he's only going to be like the first maybe half of the game, and then Venom is the real second half, but then the real third big baddie is going to be Green Goblin, and so it's going to be like a mix of the two at the end. So
yeah, I'd love to see Goblin, but like I feel like for Spider-Man 2, Venom would probably be a really good top villain, because I mean they're focusing on, like, they made it very clear that they were gonna have like a symbiote in this, so that's a lot of build-up. I feel like if they put Goblin in there now, they'd just be kind of like throwing it in there. Yeah. If they're gonna do Goblin, I want them to do it perfect, because he's my favorite Spider-Man villain. So I'd want him to I'd want him to be the main focus.
Yeah. Or they could have it as kind of like a cliffhanger.
Oh, that would be sick.
That would be so terrible because then I'm like, shut up and take my money for a PlayStation 6. But, like, they could.
They could. It'd be a dickhead move, though.
It would be.
Like, to be honest, I'm kind of happy they didn't tease a symbiote. Wait, did they tease a symbiote? If they did, I didn't see it.
So they kind of slightly, when they were asking about suits that were going to be in the first game, and they said, they were like, what about the black suit? And they kind of danced around the question because they were like, you know what, the symbiote. And the whole reason they didn't have one in the first game was because they wanted to really do that for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, very excited to see what they're going to do with it, and hopefully there's a lot of extra costumes plus the ones that we got from the first one.
Yeah.
That's like, if they don't give me all the suits I got in the first game, I'm going to be a little tiny bit disappointed.
Dude, Naked Peter with just the mask on?
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck with that.
Like, all they have to do is drag and drop for the new game, you know?
That's not asking much.
That's not. You know, that first game was like, what, 50 gigabytes? They said this one's going to be like 105.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm trying to figure out the hard drive because they're like, all right, you can store games on a hard drive, you just can't play them. I'm like, what does that mean? I have an external hard drive for the PS4 and it works fine.
People are, I don't know, I don't like the idea of like bigger games are better. Like, we are like, most people are perfectly fine with having a game be the same size as the past one, just different. Just because it's bigger doesn't mean we like it.
Yeah.
Like Starfield, for example. I love the Elder Scrolls. I love all Fallout games. But Starfield, I mean, it's like way, like, it was way bigger than Fallout or Skyrim. But it felt exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like just space Fallout. I mean, you choose a faction, you shoot a gun, but like, I don't know, it didn't live up to the hype for me, at least.
Fair enough.
It wasn't a bad game. Like, it wasn't a bad game by any means, but it was like, it was not as good as Fallout 4 or Skyrim or anything like that. It's just, I hate to see what Bethesda was like capable of and what they could do. Yeah. But they don't do it.
Yeah. Well, like, I know there's been the controversy with Baldur's Gate because they're like, all right, we're changing games and we're gonna make something so brilliant, and then game companies are like, don't do that because we can't keep up. But is it that they can't keep up, or like, everything's weird right now with like the whole writer's strike, and even actors and people are going on strike because why not pay people to do them? Like, to some extent I get it. We were talking about this, how like servers, they make $2.13 an hour plus tip, but I think in Chicago they were talking about like doing away with, or no, it was Bernie Sanders, I think, and they were talking about like doing completely away with the whole tip system and have everyone get paid minimum wage, or not minimum wage, but like
salary.
Like a salary or like a working wage. And that's just kind of not doable. That would increase costs by about 60%, and that's just not really doable for a lot of places. And I'm not saying to not pay your employees, but you know, like, in that situation, I don't like how the whole server thing is, but I do think the whole tip system is unfortunately the best situation right here.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where he was coming from to an extent. Yeah. But you're not running a food business like you're running Walmart. Yeah. Because, like, it's just a completely different elements, completely different system. Yeah. And you're constantly replacing items in a shop, or not in a shop, in a food store or a restaurant, and it's just hard to like maintain a salary.
Well, like, but every job, like car salesman, they make a salary. Yeah. But it's like maybe 20 grand, if that, and then the rest is all based off of sales. Yeah. And that commission is what they really work for. So I don't know. It's
a tough game. It's a very hard business to get into.
Yeah. Like, I hate sales. I hate looking at people and like, here's why you should get this. This is great for you.
Yeah.
And the only way that I can like kind of trick myself into it is like I will not sell anything that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like unless I truly believe in the product or whatever it is that I'm selling, I will not sell it.
Yeah.
So like at my job, they always are like, recommend the new promo burger. If I think it tastes like shit, I'm not gonna say anything about it because I think it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
But when we had that one with the pretzel, oh man, we had this one thing with the pretzel. You bet every other table, yeah, you gotta try this new pretzel bullshit thing. But yeah, it's fun times.
Yeah.
You ever read Shakespeare?
What? Not too often, no.
Let's read some Shakespeare. Son of a bitch.
That is a really big book.
It is a very big book. So
The pages are golden.
they are. So I made mention of this to you a little bit earlier, but I took a girl out on like the most amazing first date ever, and it was such an amazing first date that she like didn't need a second one, and I left her speechless, and she hasn't gotten back to me since. And so yeah, so she said she liked books and the Harley Quinn show, so I got caught up on Harley Quinn because I was like a season and a half behind. I was like, hey, we should like go to Barnes and Noble and watch the new episode on Thursday. And I was like, all right, I'll take her to a location where she feels comfortable around books, and then we can watch her show.
Yeah.
And and then maybe I'll buy her a book. So I was thinking ahead. So then I realized not only was she out of my league by looks alone, but she was also like really smart. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get up on her level. So I completely forgot to buy her a book. And after the date, I went to go get her the book that she wanted. Well, there were two books. She wanted one. It was a Harry Potter book, and it had the Marauders map in it. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Because I don't go on a first date and expect failure. So I was like, I won't get her that one. I'll get her this other one that she kind of wanted. And then I'll get her the other one for like Christmas or something, because I'm planning on things to not fail. So I bought Shakespeare for myself to catch up on her level. And then I figured she'd get a book that she'd like, and then later buy the Harry Potter one, right? But yeah, that did not go so well. So, and I still want Shakespeare, so I can't take back the book because it was like a buy one get one half off. And I was like, man, so now I just have that book
well
sitting in my trunk. But I have Shakespeare, and I can read the second part of King Henry VI or King John, or there are a lot of stuff about kings, or Hamlet. So
let's do John. Let's do King John.
King John. That one's on Julius Caesar. Man, he talked about a lot of different things in kings. King Henry IV, The Merchant of Venus. King Richard II, Taming of the Shrew. King John. Let's see. There's a character just named Bastard. Holy God, this guy is cool. All right. Let's see. Enter King John, Queen Eleanor, Pembroke, Essex, Salisbury, and others with Chatillon. I don't know. I need like a dictionary, a calculator, and like a textbook to figure out what he's saying. Now say Chatillon, what would France with us? Chatillon. Thus after greeting speaks the King of France, in my behavior to the majesty, the borrowed majesty of England here. Queen Eleanor, a strange beginning, borrowed majesty. King John, silence, good mother, hear the embassy. Chatillon, Prince Philip of France, in right and true behalf of thy deceased brother Geoffrey's son, Arthur Plantagenet, lays most lawful claim to this fair island and the territories, to Ireland, Positors and Juterant main, desiring thee to lay aside the sword, which sways surprising what the these several titles, and put the same into young Arthur's hand, thy nephew and right royal sovereign, King John. What follows if we disallow of this Chalatin, the proud control of fierce and bloody war, to enforce these rights so forcibly withheld, King John? Here have we war for war and blood for blood, controlment for controlment. So answer France, Chalatin, then take my king's defiance from my mouth, the furthest limit of my embassy. King John, bear mine to him, and so depart in peace. Do we want to keep bastards coming up here? Do we want to keep going, or
fuck no? I'll give you a golf clap for that though, because that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I hate the French now because of that.
Yeah, like some of the poems are pretty alright. Like those you can kind of understand a little bit more.
But it's English from a few hundred years ago, so it's like, what the fuck were they saying?
Exactly, but like otherwise, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, because I'm like, I don't understand like half of this.
I think it's just like world lore.
Like listen to this. When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies, that she might think me some untutored youth, unsilkful in the world's false forms, thus vainly thinking that she thinks me young, although I know my years be past the best. I smiling credit her false speaking tongue, outfacing faults in love with love's ill rest. But wherefore says my love that she is young, and wherefore say not I that I am old? O love's best habit is a soothing tongue, and age in love loves not to have years told. Therefore I lie with love, and love with me, since that at our faults in love thus smothered be. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds cool. Sounds passionate.
It sounds very good.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they were saying.
I don't either.
I think he was talking about how his girlfriend doesn't like him.
It's a possibility. There's that thing about the tongue, and like I think he's talking about like soothing words, and like how reading Shakespeare to a girl will get you girls. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But everything else, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, it's like reading that part of the Bible where and so on beget so on, who beget so on, and then you're just like trying to keep track of it on top of trying to understand what is even being said.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff like that.
I hate reading. Oh my god. I can read Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
Those, I haven't gone back and rewatched the films. I think it was about a year ago. I was like, you know what? The films are way better than the book.
I like them both. At work, I'm not allowed to like use my phone or anything like that. I can only read. I'm reading through all the books right now. I'm on like 8 right now.
I just, what I liked about the film is that there is there's character development for him, and in the book it's ever so slight, and like each book he kind of just starts over and he's just the same horrible person.
Yeah, he's been in middle school for like 10 years.
Yeah,
it's
like
crazy.
It's crazy. Like I'm certain if you were to jot down, because it starts where it's like Monday, Tuesday, and I'm certain like you can go through and find every single
and like, count the days.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. It's probably been like cool 10 years since he's been in 8th grade like his whole life.
Yeah, like come on, dude, just like get your act together.
Grow the hell up.
Go to high school, find drugs or whatever.
Yeah, learn what public school's like.
Yeah, because like that first book is like the first 6th grade, and like I think the first 3 books it's like 1st through like 7th, maybe even 8th. Because let's see, does Roger Groves go through? No, it doesn't go through winter. But so 6th, 7th. So yeah, he's been in 8th grade like ever since.
Yeah,
except that winter from, what was it, Cabin Fever? So then after that winter, what came after Cabin Fever?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I kind of just read them out of order.
Fair enough. Because I remember for a while I
think it's the fourth one.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series. Oh, it's only $50 for like all of them, 1 through.
Are you looking at the one on Amazon?
Yeah,
I bought it. I bought it like a couple of days ago. So
nice.
I'm gonna read
Is
them
it all the hardcover?
They're not all hardcover. No.
Tragic. But okay, so after Cabin Fever, there was Third Wheel, Hard Luck. So Long Haul, I think, was the last one that I read.
Long Haul? I haven't even read that one. I just finished Hard Luck.
Okay. Hard Luck is. I'm trying to remember what happens in that one. Oh, that was the one where like he and Rowley were both like trying to like date the same chick or something.
That was Third Wheel.
Oh.
Hard Luck, he's like, just everything goes wrong. Like, his grandma dies, loses her ring. Everybody's trying to find her ring.
Oh yeah, but he finds it, right? Like at the end. Yeah.
His mom is like super like nice to him and helps him finish his project, and she tells him like before she helps him with this project, whenever everyone's looking for the ring, she tells him if anybody finds that, it's gonna be like chaos. So after she helps him out with his project, he's like trying to be nice back to her, and he finds the ring, and then he's like, I could sell this shit. But then he's like, no, I'm gonna hide it because mom said that if anybody found it, it was gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
So he hid it in his mom's closet. It was a good book. I like that.
That's horrible, hiding it in your mom's closet.
Oh, and then Rowley's girlfriend broke up with him, and they became friends again.
Ah, yes. Well, that's how that always goes. So by that, like Long Haul would be the summer before 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does middle school work? 8th grade is the end, right?
Yeah.
So then he should be starting 9th grade in the.
Well, in some schools, 9th grade is also middle school.
I don't know. I was homeschooled.
Oh yeah.
So,
no shit. I'm sitting there thinking like, how didn't you know this? I'm like, oh yeah.
I don't know. Fascinating. Is Greg Heffley mentally challenged?
Oh yeah. He's very like he's got to be.
Yeah, he's just a bad person.
Yeah, he's a bad person, but not like in a criminal way, more of like a on the spectrum, like, but like accidentally committing crimes kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, have you heard the one where like the theory where he's like like he's a sociopath?
He is. No, he is a sociopath. There's no way he's not. Every time he talks about Rowley, he's like, Rowley's cool, but not as cool as me. Yeah. I know he's going through this, but I gotta put me first.
Yeah, he's like
he's an asshole.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about like the films. He's kind of an asshole at first, but like the opening scene of Roderick Rules where he sees Rowley, he's doing like a secret handshake, which you would have thought was stupid in the first one.
Yeah.
But he's doing that. And then like he hates his brother, and then he doesn't. And then in Dog Days, he and his brother are tight.
Yeah. And
like it's this perfect like character growth where I'm like, had these continued, I probably like would have watched one where like he's a broken down server or something where he's like, I'm at my hardest point in life, he's got a gun to his head and he's trying to make ends meet.
If these books continue, he's either A, gonna kill himself, or is B, gonna be a part of a criminal organization selling meth.
Brown down.
Oh, new season coming out.
Breaking Bad, Breaking Heffley, Breaking Zooey Mama.
Oh, it's so fucking dumb.
Well, I think that's a good spot to end it.
That is a pretty good spot to end it.
Well, thank you, folks, for tuning in to another very distinguished... I'm too close to the mic. I'm just trying to grab the keyboard. thank you, folks, for tuning into another very distinguished episode of A Distinguished Conversation. If you want to continue to listen to this, you can do that on the Spotifys, the Insta chats, and all good stuff. You can follow Noah on the socials.
Yeah,
if you want to plug that.
Instagram at shaboygringo, and then same
that's
thing.
Who that was?
Yep, same thing all across the board, except for Twitter. I don't use Twitter because that's for idiots.
Yeah. Okay, I remember somebody named Shaboy Gringo followed us, and I was like, who the hell is that? And then, okay. Now I know who that is.
Yeah, I'm in love. What can I say?
Well, you can follow the Shaboy Gringo on all this stuff, and you can find us at A Distinguished Conversation. And we will see y'all next week. Bye.